we had the really great chat with Dan from Radix last week, and I think there's maybe enough video time for David and me this last week. All right. We're just coming up on live on YouTube. Yeah. Right, we're live on YouTube now.
I'm just pushing out the blog post.
Cool.
So you can skip the show and you go directly to the blog to figure out what we're talking about. We're gonna keep this short. Before we do, I'm going to message in chat. If anyone has any questions, we're going to have 10 minutes to talk about what we're going to say. Then we'll take any questions. And then we've got so much going on, we got to go back to the keyboard. But so if you have questions, chime in. Richard, I'm just going to let people in Saito Official or who are on the site know so that they've got 10 minutes of warning.
Perfect.
You want to get us started with what we're here to talk about?
Yep. So I think I wanted to thank people for their patience if we've been delayed a couple of times. They didn't say this to the YouTube crowd. So we pushed up to this week and then had something on yesterday, but good to be here. We're going to keep it quite tight today, partially because we had such a great chat with Dan from Radix last week. That was real bonus for the week for me. I really enjoyed it, but it was also really cool to see the whole tech stack in action. I mean, to see someone from another project as well interacting with our stack and appreciating what we're doing, getting a sense for how functional it is and how capable it is, as well as having a really solid, decent conversation with someone was a really nice sort of experience. So I think we're going to definitely double down on that. I think stopping anyone from picking up this tech and producing content using this, it's a lot easier than having to fiddle around with OBS and all sorts of production tools. If you just want to get video and audio content up on the web, and it would work for both or combined. To me, this is a really simple experience compared to other things I've said about doing. Previous podcasting experience, etc., where it gets quite technically involved. So that's been a real bonus for the week for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, David?
I was just saying, I like Dan. I think he's got the right mindset for things too.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a really positive discussion. It's rare for us to get people who've got that much to say.
Maybe we can start with that.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to keep things short. So I guess the first thing is, I think our challenge is going to be not running out of really good guests.
Yeah, that's the challenge.
Who have interesting things to say that we can have that. We don't want to have like marketing conversations or governance conversations or that kind of thing, because it's kind of pointless.
Well,
if you have suggestions,
that was the key. The key to, I think we've got a slight delay. The key to the discussion with Dan to me was that they have really innovative solutions to things I've kind of seen in the future or to problems that we don't face. And so I really learned something out of the experience. It was enlightening. And I think there's ideas that I can see us implementing there in different ways to what they do it, but they're really kind of powerful. And that was
It's also non-confrontational. I think one of the important things that we can do with the show is have conversations about what other people are doing. And like, I know we see people on TG, why aren't you talking more about Saito? And it's like, well, we got enough opportunities to talk about Saito. We don't have enough opportunities to necessarily show people that they should be caring about ideas and kind of raising those up where it goes. So there's that. We had a video call update too.
Yep.
We've now got scheduling.Mod. So this, as I understand it, I haven't used this yet. We get a link, and then anyone can join the link who has the link.
Yeah. So the difference is, so previously, whoever started the call was the hub for that. So people knew that they would connect. You'd connect to them, and then you'd start up your peer-to-peer connections that way. So if Alice joins Bob and then Phil comes along, Bob's there to tell Phil and Alice how to find each other. This is universalizing the system. So basically you can give three people who've never met each other the link, and it lets them send out a Saito transaction to start locating each other. So basically the first person who gets there yells, "I'm here," and then everybody else does the same when they get there, and you find each other. This is super cool because it allows us to go the next step to schedule a meeting. It gives you all the functionality without introducing a central hub that has to be the clearinghouse, So it's
and
a big
cross-browser too. You can get the link in an email, and if it's a different browser, work computer doesn't need to be the same wallet.
Right, so, and it's free from all of that crud too. Like the closest thing, I've got this Chinese lesson going on once a week, and just using Zoom for that because that's what they use, and it's such a pain to like force Zoom to let me use my own browser instead of some app or whatever. You're fighting with the software before you even started today's call. So. Want to convince them to come across, actually.
Yeah. So first update, Saito Social, Work, Swarmcast. If you've got a podcast you want to put out, you've got an interview, you want to help us, start using Swarmcasting for it.
Yep.
So, we're happy to promote. It would be good for us to have more podcasts, more discussions in the space, and to video call. You can now schedule your calls in advance. You're going to get a link. Just go to that link at the time. It doesn't matter who's online first. It'll connect you.
Yeah.
So those are two. Do we have anything else before the big news?
Well, I think there's the last update. Yeah, mod tools. So I mean, basically, this is a kind of watching space, but just to let people know what's going on, because I think there was some confusion when we launched as well. People weren't sure like what they're looking at, what they're expecting to see. And because the system is basically looking at what your group and your peers are doing and working out from that what you should be seeing, it's not always obvious. So one of the things we've done is build internal tools so we can double check what's going on and make sure it makes sense. And if we want to make a change, we know what we're doing. But then also just the controls are now more available in the account section. So you can go into the account, click on mod tools, and see exactly like what you're doing. So you can, for instance, go there and turn everything off. If you just want to get the full, fire hose of whatever's on chain, that's a red square message, go for it. You can do that for any of the apps. So this is something where I think, we're feeling like we've seen an improved content level and curation, and people seem to be enjoying the experience more, but it'll take time to kind of see that ongoing and how that works.
Yeah. We've done some work with it. I don't think people realize how much gossiping can happen too. It's people are gossiping about who the bad actors are, and you're more likely not to show bad actors. We're thinking about things like actually having more visibility of the stuff that has been moderated, so that there can be some pushback if maybe you view the what's been modded page and you say, wait a minute, that's not spam.